Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while. It's been a while because YouTube's copyright system, she's a little bitch. But we're back and today we are going to be doing some very non-copyright material today because we're going to be talking about social media, but not just any kind of social media. We are going to be talking about the fiery pits of hell that is LinkedIn. Before we get started with today's video, we will do this week's sweaty shout out. I'm almost tearing up. I'm laughing so hard because Ludwig Master sent me this screenshot titled Forbidden Love, a Casey X Ratatouille fanfiction. Apparently somebody has written a fanfiction about me and Ratatouille. If you guys want a sweaty shout out for yourself, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, and then DM me your favorite meme of the week on Instagram, and you might get chosen. I also want to mention that all of these posts that I'm going to be talking about are from a Twitter account called Crap on LinkedIn. They are so funny. They basically take the worst of the worst on LinkedIn and they post it. So if you want to see more of this shit, feel free to follow them. They have a really good account. Just wanted to preface this video with that. And yeah, let's just get into it. I think that for a lot of people, the social medias that get the worst flack is like Twitter or Instagram or Snapchat, because people are like, oh, what's the point of Snapchat? Which, like, fair enough. But when you get to that point in your life, when you have to make a LinkedIn profile, the door's open to literally the worst place on the internet. If you don't know what LinkedIn is or are kind of fuzzy on like the actual purpose of the app, it's essentially like, at least my perspective of it is, it's like Facebook for working and networking. And I swear to God, there is no word that just makes everything in my body just seize than the word networking. In theory, it makes sense that you would have like an online platform where you can like connect with people through work and whatever, but also like what it's turned into, wow. It's basically taken all of the worst elements, like the ones that you dislike the most from each platform, and then combined work with it, and it just, ooh. One of the worst parts about LinkedIn is the humble bragging, which has become so prevalent that the humble braggers now have to disclaim that their humble brags aren't technically humble brags. This guy said, here I am on a Saturday afternoon, agonizing over content I should have finished earlier in the week. No, this isn't a hustle or grind self-masturbatory post. This is me in all humility and shame, sacrificing time I could be spending with my family because I mismanaged my time during the week. I said yes when I should have said no to a few clients and colleagues and became reactive instead of proactive. Don't be like Steve and put on a good face when you know better. Now here I am procrastinating on LinkedIn with a cautionary tale. Back to work I go. Hashtag reactive. Hashtag proactive. Hashtag humility. All I picture with this post is like his family being like, Steve, we haven't eaten in like 3 weeks. And he's like, gotta put on that hustle, gotta put on that grind. Also apparently on LinkedIn, the children that some of these LinkedIn users interact with have the brains of like a 15-year-old when they're 10. This one guy, Nicholas, was like, 10-year-old. What social network has caused the most harm? Me? That's a hard question. 8-year-old. No, really. Which one? Me. Well, without Twitter, I'm pretty sure Trump wouldn't be president. 10-year-old. I think Instagram has caused the most harm. Me. Why? 10-year-old. Because it makes so many kids sad. 5-year-old. I have an idea for what I'm going to do when I grow up. Me, what? 5-year-old. I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to be a baker and I'm going to make a machine that zaps people. Me, that zaps people? 5-year-old. Yes, it's a machine that zaps adults when they are walking down the street looking at their phones, and then it makes them go and play with their friends. What 5-year-old has the cognitive... What? Do 5-year-olds have that good of sentence structure at this point? Like, I genuinely don't know. This is me actually asking, like, what 5-year-old talks like that? Then you have these ones that are like, you almost wish that they're fake because they are so fucking concerning that this person actually has this kind of frame of mind. I got fired 3 months after buying my first house. I was scared and ashamed to tell my family. I was an employed dropout. My wife was a student. We were desperate. We kept breathing. Success comes from the times you keep breathing. What? The worst part is this has 63,000 likes. What the fuck do you mean success comes from breathing? This guy sounds like the most irritating human being in the entire world. Like, probably would be the type of person that if you're like, my grandma just died, and he's like, you know, success is when you keep breathing. Like, shut up, Eric. We all know that if you keep breathing, life is going to continue to go on, but I'm pretty sure there's more elements than just breathing that connect to actual success. Then you have these really weird ones where this guy named Richard posted how I consume books. Number 1, if available, buy the audiobook and listen at 2 times the speed. Number 2, If it's good, buy a hard copy and highlight juicy bits. Juicy bits. Number 3, make summary of juicy bits in Google Docs. Number 4, try to connect with the author and discuss in depth. How do you consume books and audio? I don't know, Richard. I read them and then I finish reading them and I go on with the rest of my life. What the fuck is a juicy bit? Can you literally picture this man reading a book and he's like, that's a juicy bit. Ugh, like ew. Also, like, who's putting this in a Google Doc and then having an imaginary conversation with an author? Like, what the fuck? If you thought that the breathing one was bad, there's another one by a guy named Asim. And he says, a friend of mine has huge feet, size UK 13. A few years ago, I was strolling through a high-end departmental store. Isn't it a department store? Whatever. In Malaysia with him. He saw a shoe he liked, asked for it in his size, tried it on, went to the cashier, and paid for it with his credit card. The odd thing was that the price wasn't written on the shoe. He hadn't asked for the price, and he wasn't particularly wealthy. He had recently started his own startup. I asked him, why didn't you even ask for the price of the shoe before buying? He explained, Asim, the shoes could cost anything from US 200 to 1K. I like them, and my shoe size is pretty difficult to find in Malaysia. If I spent 2 hours finding a shoe at the lowest end of the scale, I'd save up to $800, but my 2 hours is worth way more than that to me. The shoes ended up costing around $300. This guy is now worth more than 10 million. Take away, value your time. Anyone who tries to like quantify their time in terms of like money is a psychopath. Like, I can't stress this enough. I don't care if they're a CEO. Anyone who's like, my hours were $300. Like, you're crazy, like actually crazy. And I don't mean that because they're doing that. I mean that the people that usually do that are just nutty and annoying in general. And that's just a warning sign that they are nutty and annoying in general. Exhibit A would be this post. Then there's a thing called LinkedIn influencer, where people are actively trying to become influencers on LinkedIn. I'm not joking. This guy, I'm gonna scratch out his name, but he actually has in his name, influencer. Good God. He says, some of you might be shocked at my level of obsession with being a LinkedIn influencer. Yes. Others of you know that it takes a level of obsession to make things happen. Am I stroking out, or is that like not the way you say that? The best is that there's so many people trying to like make philosophical connections to the most like random shit that happens to be viral that day. So one guy decides to connect leadership to a video of turkeys crossing the road. He captions it, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Leadership is not about a title or a designation. It's about impact. It's just this big ass turkey that blocked traffic while nearly a dozen turkeys crossed the road. I think he's just making sure no one gets killed. Like, I think there are enough ways to connect leadership to things that aren't turkeys to generate a discussion that doesn't involve turkeys. The humble breaks though have progressively gotten worse because now you have people that are acting as if LinkedIn is Facebook. This guy decided to humble brag that he saw a mother and 2 kids in a car drive off after putting $3.12 in her tank. I immediately flagged her down and told her I'll fill her tank and that it wasn't that long ago I was putting $3 in my tank to get from point A to point B. She accepted, gave me a hug, and went on to enjoy her Saturday. Blessings don't flow unless you bless others. I think that the blessings actually flow a little faster and better if you don't broadcast the good deed you did, because then it's not really a good deed, it's just you wanking yourself off. I remember when this was super prevalent on Twitter, when like people would be like, oh my god, I just sat with this old lady who was eating lunch by herself. What if she just wanted to eat lunch by herself? Like, what if she was enjoying her meal by herself and some little twerp comes up and is like, I'm gonna do you a good deed and I'm gonna ask you a bunch of invasive questions. Also, my friend is gonna take a picture of us sitting at a table together so I can use this for retweets later. Like, literally just do a good deed and then just be happy that you did the good deed. Why do you have to put it online? Like, why? Apart from the people that are participating in the humble circle jerk on LinkedIn, they're also the very concerning people that quite honestly sound like serial killers. This guy named Joel said, ring ring, I decline. Kindly text iMessage. Joel, can you call me? I can't. WhatsApp VN me. He says, hey, we need to chat and catch up on things. I know you're a hotshot now, but come on, work isn't everything. I call him. I say, Joe, work is everything. I have no time for friends. Friends have let me down. When I need a friend for a beer, I have plenty of neighbors and family members to choose from. We chatted about nothingness for 10 minutes. Old friends are like old clothes that don't fit anymore. Get rid of them. They make great memories, that's all. Need a favor? Sure, I'll be glad to do that when I can help. And since he asked me to call him, I did. But otherwise, it's don't call me, I'll call you. Full disclosure, I have one friend whom I call once a week. No shit. Who goes about life like this? Like, holy shit, he literally sounds like he's gonna like implode in like a week. There's another guy like this that's like, what is commitment? Commitment is working on a Sunday when it's your birthday because a client wants a project delivered 2 times faster. That's, I'm gonna block this out, commitment to all of our clients. And in the picture, he has this do not disturb sign thing. It says, I'm on a tight schedule today. Engineer, I can't read half of this shit. Emergency checklist. He's basically just saying like, is it the second coming? Am I on fire and I don't realize it? Don't bother me. People like this are just the fucking worst. They really are. It's become a competition on LinkedIn where people are like, you want to know what commitment is? I'm working while my wife is giving birth to 8 children. It's also my birthday. It's also my mother's birthday. It's also my dad's birthday too. And my cousin just died, but I'm still working because commitment. Then there are the older leaning generation that don't know how hashtags work. This guy named Anthony put, our 6-year-old has a crush on a classmate who apparently gave him a penny at school yesterday. The teacher just texted to inform us he gave her a $20 bill today. Also, this is LI appropriate because you know what? It's not. It's just a really, really proud dad moment that I had to share. Hashtag, he took the initiative. Hashtag, money can buy love in kindergarten. Hashtag, he brought a large bill, y'all. Hashtag, look at my money. Hashtag, you can take all of it. Hashtag, it belongs to my parents, but you can have it. Hashtag, thanks for the penny though. Hashtag, do we get married now or what? Hashtag, maybe prom in 12 years. Hashtag, the teacher intercepted the cash. Hashtag, so that's good. Hashtag, now I have to have the money talk with him. Hashtag, parenting. I have no words because he put them all in a fucking hashtag. I also feel bad for anyone who takes interview advice from LinkedIn because I can promise you if there's anywhere that should be the first place you don't look for interview advice, it's fucking LinkedIn. The reason I say that is because there are posts like this. I interviewed a candidate for an internship today, and I asked him, why should we hire you? He said, my dad once told me I would never be the strongest person. I would never be the fastest person, and probably not the tallest person, but I could outwork them all. I may not have more credentials than your other candidates, but I will outwork them all. Preach. Hashtag hired. I can promise you that talking like an absolute robot like that in an interview, first of all, didn't happen and would not get you hired because you sound psychotic. And there are people that are like, the best thing to come out of Brexit is that I genuinely feel it's caused people in the UK to fall back in love with Twitter again. I can see the platform making a real comeback in 2019 as people's attention moves away, slowly, might I add, from the likes of Instagram. I mean, I don't even know what to say to this. Yeah, Brexit totally isn't that bad. The world's falling apart, but at least we all have Twitter again. Isn't that great, guys? So great. By far, though, the worst is this woman's book cover. And I'm going to say this before I show the book cover, because I know some people are going to go, what's wrong with someone doing this? I have no issue with someone breastfeeding in public, but there is something to be said about a whole ass titty on a book cover. This woman captioned it, I'm writing a book called How to Grow $1 Million Companies and Babies at the Same Time. What's it about? And this is the cover. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to blur this if I want to keep this video up. This woman just didn't do the worst cropping job I think I've ever seen in my entire life. She didn't just use that font that just triggers my gag reflex because it's so, ugh. But she didn't just do those things. She has a whole ass titty on her book cover. A whole ass titty. Why is this on LinkedIn? Why is this a thing in general? What am I looking at? This is a lot. I feel really uncomfortable right now. Very uncomfortable. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with breastfeeding in public. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with breastfeeding. But there's something to be said about the level of titty that is being shown on a cover that's about growing a company. I also love that you can tell that this is like a selfie. Like, she has a laptop on her lap, a whole ass baby attached to her titty, and then she's got like her phone like this, which, listen, That's some hard ass work. I don't think I could do that kind of balancing while I'm trying to take a selfie. But yeah, they're interesting. Then there's shit like this where the guy like took a picture of himself and he's like, I pause, I smile, eyes open, I feel the energy, the excitement, the passion, a new day begins. Like, this literally just sounds like the inner monologue of a serial killer. Of course, we have one more imaginary 13-year-old who apparently told her dad yesterday that she wanted to set up a business and asked if he would invest in her. And he said, of course I will if you give me your business plan. And she was angry with all the questions he was asking her. And she eventually sat up until 3 a.m. writing a 6-page business plan that she presented to him with a vision of her brand, her target audience, marketing strategy, time skills, costs, and how she's going to get feedback. She's really excited this morning and has already ordered her business cards. What? She's 13. How does she know what a time scale is? How does she know what a target audience is? Also, why are you buying her business cards? What do they even say? This is what happens when you don't let your children outside to just play outside and enjoy, I don't fucking know, the forest? I don't know. Finally, I leave you guys with a message that has been copy and pasted by so many people pretending that they made it up themselves. It's getting to the point where it's actually infuriating. It starts with sad reality. I have more than 5K connections in LinkedIn, but when you approach someone for a job or any query, none of them will reply, especially the big shots. Guys, please understand that you're in some big position. If you are in some big position, you are there because someone gave you some opportunity. Do not forget the past. If you can't help, or at least for courtesy, you can reply saying, I'm not the right person. I mean, come on. If you can't like a post, share something, or always been active on social media, checking messages this much, you can reply to a person who is really looking for some help. No one is so busy. LinkedIn is a platform where you can expand your professional connection circle. It's not just about displaying big designations. Have some heart. You have also grown from roots. Do not forget that. Hit that like button if you agree. Also, you know what? Subscribe to the channel. Turn your post notifications on. Have you turned the bell on? Have you done it? Have you liked the post? Did you do it? Add me on LinkedIn. Don't forget to fuck that like button. Just hit that like button. Hit it now. Have you hit it yet? Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications, because why not? If you want to follow me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which are both Aonso. And yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.